So anyways, one of the things we do to simplify the world is to frame it physically. And so you look at this, you've got wall number 1 and then you have wall number 2, but then inside the walls you have walls around everything. All these houses are walls, and inside the houses there are walls as well. And so everything is, and what you do when you put walls around things is you make part of the world simpler, right? Constantly. If the reason you have a house is so that everybody and his dog isn't in your house. You just want those few people that you can barely tolerate in your house, and not all those other strangers, and God only knows what they're going to do. You'll still invite people in now and then, because maybe you're sick and tired and bored of the people that are in your house, and so you want a little bit of new information. But you want those barriers to be there so that you can voluntarily modulate the information flow. Okay, so that's the first thing you do. And you know, then you set up rules with everybody else. It says, well, I'm going to have some walls so you can't come in, but what I'm going to do is pay you for that privilege by letting you have some walls where people can't come in. And so I think that's analogous. I was thinking about the issue of discrimination in relationship to sex, because I've been thinking a lot about discrimination lately, because everybody thinks discrimination is a bad idea, which is a very stupid proposition, because you're discriminating all the time. And the most fundamental form of discrimination is choice of sexual partner. And so you might say, well, why should that even be allowed? Because it is the most fundamental form of discrimination. So for example, almost everyone is racially prejudiced when it comes to sexual partners. So you think, well, is that right? Is that a, what about, do you use age as an exclusionary criteria? Probably. Do you use physical attractiveness? Only insofar as you're able, right? You use it completely if you could get away with it, roughly speaking, but you can't, because the most attractive people aren't going to be anywhere near you. So you can't do it, but you'd like to. Health, yes. Strength, yes. Wealth, yes. Education, definitely. So it's unbelievably discriminatory. And so you might say, well, why is that justifiable? And it seems to me that it's something like, well, you get to say no to me if I get to say no to you. It's something like that. We've agreed that everybody gets to discriminate on that basis, and because everybody can do it, then it's fair. It's something like that. It's very much worth thinking about. You know, I don't know if you know this, but in Huxley's book, Brave New World, where the family had been completely demolished, right, and children were conceived in bottles and given and produced in factories. So the whole idea of the relationship between sex and procreation had become a taboo. One of the mantras, the slogans of the society was, everyone belongs to everyone else. And so it was actually a social faux pas to refuse to sleep with someone, just as it was a social faux pas to have any exclusionary relationship. Because another thing that you might notice is that there's nothing more discriminatory than falling in love with someone. It's like, you're special, and all the rest of you? No. So it's the ultimate exclusionary act, right? And yet we presume that that's an acceptable, not only acceptable, we demand that as a right. And well, that's worth thinking about. A lot